The best relationships have a foundation of friendship. I truly believe that. I believe that when two people like each other at their core, can really be friends, it enhances and allows the relationship to flourish in ways that those who don't have that element can achieve, okay? And we live in a world where, listen, friends fall in love all the time, all right? It happens every single day. But what I come across is this fear that people have of going from friendship to lover. And I've heard, of course, some good stories and I've heard some horror stories, right? And I see what people are overlooking or missing when trying to take that next step with a friend. Now, this is not to say any person you have a good friendship with is automatically the man for you or whatever. No. But there are situations where two people genuinely have a connection, genuinely have deep feelings for each other, but they need some help navigating how to go from that space to romantic relationship. So I want to real quick thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video, because I think too many times people view getting therapy and counseling as the thing that you do when things are going wrong, rather than using it as like a preemptive strike. So essentially it's like how you do premarital counseling. You don't wait till there's a problem. You do your due diligence beforehand to make sure you cover all the bases and ask all the questions so that you guys can walk into that next level on the same page and creating an amazing relationship. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. To get started, just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, and that's Better H-E-L-P, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked by you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. So get 10% off of your first month at BetterHelp, that's BETTER, help.com/Stephan Speaks. All right, so let's get into this. How can you transition from being friends to lovers? One of the first things you need to do is you need to establish what are the new expectations. So where I see a lot of people stumble in this transition process is that there's an assumption of how we were when we were friends will be how we are in this relationship. So a perfect example is, as friends, I didn't have to check in when I was out late, right? Because we're friends. And sometimes, let's say a guy would assume, okay, well, we're going to be in a relationship now and it's going to be just as free and you know, carefree as it was when we were friends. No, like, no. Now, this is your woman and she expects to know where you are, or she expects for you to, you know, not be out all super late at night and things of that nature, or hanging out in places that you once hung out in. And because this was not discussed, it ends up becoming a point of contention once in the relationship. It ends up creating a lot of conflict, a lot of resentment, and it's an easily avoidable problem. We cannot assume the dynamics of the friendship will completely cross over into a romantic relationship. So we have to be able to sit down with each other and say, okay, what is now expected of me if I am to become your partner? All right. Both sides have to lay that out so we can understand what we are getting ourselves into, if we are willing to provide those things, and then how we want to go about making sure these things stay in place, or these things are implemented and sustained. So you got to be willing to have that discussion. And I think what contributes, or one of the things that contributes to that discussion not being had, is the fear of facing the reality that maybe this isn't what I hope it will be. You know, a lot of people don't ask questions or don't dig deeper, because deep inside they know the answer, what they're going to find is going to give them reason to have to, or it's going to give them reason to have to let go. And when you don't want to have to let go for any reason, you try to dodge and sweep under the rug these issues or turn a blind eye, but you know this needs to be addressed. So don't let those fears creep in. Be willing to have those conversations, lay everything out, and be as honest and transparent as possible. All right, so another thing that you need to do when you want to transition from being friends to lovers is to discuss what are the new boundaries, all right? So this kind of goes hand in hand with the new expectations, but I want to be very specific in what we're trying to discuss and address and make sure we're on the same page about. So when it comes to boundaries, again, there's an assumption of, let's say, for example, we used to hang out as a friend group, right? So it's a bunch of us, we're all cool, but two of us in the friend group caught feelings and we want to now move on to a relationship. But the way that maybe, let's say in this case, the guy was very friendly with the girls, well, that's not going to sit well with the now friend that became his lover, okay? And one of the mistakes people make is assuming that this man or this person should know better. Like, why do I even have to tell him what the boundary is? How does he not know? And you can't fall into that trap, because the case can be made that he has been conditioned to thinking this behavior is acceptable, even though, yes, it was done within a friendship environment. He may not understand how that translates to being a problem within a relationship, all right? Not to mention, we don't know how this man was raised, what this man was taught to be respectful or inappropriate, things of that nature. So you don't want to leave it up to him to assume. I always say, when you really want to see how serious a man or a person is about you, it's not looking to see what they get right on their own. It's seeing how they handle when you express concerns and desires to them, all right? Because now that I'm letting you know this is a problem, if you continue to do it, you're showing me you're not serious. You're showing me you don't care, or you're showing me you're not ready for this move into a relationship, okay? But if they are serious about you, they make adjustments. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Relationships are the key to a successful life. But there's 5 areas that we have to be mindful of when it comes to relationships. There's relationship with God, relationship with ourselves, relationship with family and friends,